Live. There we
All
go.
right, there we go. What is going on, everybody? Frankie here for the Bakersfield Gentlemen at Glover's Lounge with my brother Miguel, joined by two special guests. Like we told you guys. Oh, actually, we didn't tell them who it was. We just told them that we had guests coming on, right?
Kept you in the dark.
Yeah.
Kept you in the dark about who. We wanted you guys to be surprised. Thank you so much for those who are joining us today. I don't even know how to start this right now. I'm so not used to being on Tuesdays. I feel so
I'm
happy that you
surprised
guys are
too.
here.
Somebody threw me in a van.
Thursday.
I was like,
We can pretend it's a Thursday.
I mean, you don't want it to be a Wednesday, right?
Right.
Because Wednesday sucks too. So
You gotta have that middle of the week. It's just slow.
Well,
yeah,
I know a pretty good way to start it. Obviously, everybody knows James. James was one of the first people that take us under his wing when we started off doing what we're doing. But it has been a while since people had come up to us when we were getting ready to go to PCA saying, hey, you got to stop by this booth. You got to talk to these guys. Go talk to these guys. Several people, Jeremy especially, was telling us, hey, you need to go by this booth. You need to go by this booth. And we're like, okay, there's a lot of buzz, what's going on? So that booth I'm speaking of is Apostate Cigars. And we're lucky enough to have you with us here today. So
glad to be here.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be here. I'm
us.
surprised too. I didn't know. No, this is fun. This is gonna be cool. Thanks for having me.
And today we are all smoking, yeah?
yeah.
We are all smoking.
The Candela.
Mm-hmm.
What's the actual name? To this?
So this is our most recent release. It's called the Feathered Serpent. It's a Candela.
Oh, I did
Yeah,
that, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
Just as before, friggin' awesome band. I'm loving this.
Yeah, the artwork on the band is phenomenal, you guys.
Yeah, so the logo is made up of a bunch of symbols. My partner and I came from a religious background. When we decided to form a cigar company, we wanted to draw from that background, right? So the symbols all have a little bit of religious tie to it. I think it makes a cool looking band. Some people say it's a little busy. I disagree. I think once you dig in, it's a cool band to look at.
I like it. I actually really like the band from day one.
Yeah,
It is busy, but
but it's well done.
and it
Yeah,
has something it has something with history with you guys. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Which
exactly. It
a
means
lot of
something.
bands don't
Yeah.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
You're right in saying that it's busy, but it's not cluttered.
it's not cluttered.
So it
Yeah,
looks-
yeah.
It's
it
still
looks-
clean.
Yeah,
think-
exactly.
I think busy is the wrong. It's detailed.
it's exactly.
Yeah.
Busy was too. It's not the right word.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
detailed.
100% right.
Yeah, you see someone pick it up and they're checking it out, right? They're looking at it, they're taking it all in. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like I've ever
so-
seen those pictures where they take a picture of the moon 1,000 times. You
Right.
can zoom in on any corner and you really see the details.
Right.
You have a chance to look at this and see the details.
Yeah,
see
you
the
zoom
different.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice touch to it.
Thank you.
Now, what led you guys going with the Candela cigar? I'm gonna be honest, it's not my first thing that I ever gravitate towards unless it's St. Patrick's Day. And I know it's a difficult leaf to work with. So, what made you guys want to go that route? Work with
You just answered the question. Yeah, right there. Yeah. It's not the first thing everyone reaches for. It's traditionally a little more difficult to work with. Kendrick, my partner, and I, really big fans of Candela when it's done well. It is something that we find ourselves reaching for. So when we're making our own cigars, that's definitely obviously something that's gonna, be captivating for us, right? The other hurdle was convincing. We work with Hochi Blanco down at Tabacalera Palma. Convincing him to let us do a Candela with his tobacco was the fun part, right? Because he's like, I don't like Candela. You shouldn't do it. We were like, please just let us mess around. Let's see. Like, if you don't like it, because nothing leaves that factory with his name
Right.
on it, if it's not up to his standards,
Right.
right? So we were like, just let us mess around. If you don't like it, we won't do it. And obviously, it's here, so
Something went right.
tells
Went
you how
very
it went.
right,
Yeah, it went well. Yeah.
And I'll be the first to talk. It's a very good Candela, dude. I personally am not a huge fan of Candelas other than the Mr. Candela. Obviously, I'm biased on that
I've heard
one,
of
but
that one.
I would
I'll
actually
smoke that.
pick this cigar up, and there's literally maybe 2 other Candelas on the market that I would reach for on the shelf. If I saw them on the shelf, this would be right there with those 4 overall.
Thanks, man.
Very
That's high
nice.
praise. I appreciate
Very
that.
nice.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the hell out of it so far too. Not your regular Candela.
Right.
I'm not getting overly just herbs and that green tea.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, I like that green tea flavor just in general, but
And for me, it's in there, but
Yeah.
it's not a slap in the face, right?
It's
You
an
don't have that-
undertone. It's not
it's
an
an
overtone.
undertone.
Yeah.
It's not like fresh lawn clippings, right? It's like
Right.
100%.
yeah, yeah.
There's no
you.
grass hay flavor profile on this thing, which I love.
It's balanced.
Yeah.
A Candela should be balanced. It should be done on purpose. And I'm not saying that other people who make Candela don't do it on purpose. I'm just saying let's try a little harder, right? You know,
Nothing wrong with that.
That's all.
So I can't see the YouTube.
I
comments
see
on
him
here.
real quick though. Smoking with Toke, how you been, brother? Haven't seen him in. Andrew's here. Matt cannot make it on Thursday. You guys don't know. I see this guy twice in 1 week, which is whatever.
Oh,
so,
damn.
So if Matt's not coming, I'm not
Cancel.
going. Yeah,
Cancel.
cancel. Bro. It's canceled.
Shut it down.
We'll have
Cigar.
to let us know your schedule, Matt. We'll just reschedule, dog.
Events canceled. Cigars over. I'm putting this out. We're done for today.
Yeah,
I'll just fly home now. I
Yeah.
guess.
It'll be cool.
What's
man.
the point?
See you guys later.
From the Bakersfield Airport.
Have fun with that.
It's like Bob's Airline.
You're gonna see literally. Oh, go to Terminal 1.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
one of how many?
One
You
of
got
one.
two.
one,
You got two.
yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Frontier doesn't even fly out of here,
It is
bro.
the nicest terminal
Spirit
ever.
Air.
Spirit doesn't even fly out.
Actually,
It's a livestock.
you want a lot easier. There's no TSA there. There's no
Boom.
security.
There
You
you
literally just walk up to the plane like, yeah, I'm not gonna hurt anybody. It's
All right, give me all the cocaine.
Seriously?
There's nothing there.
Oh,
There's
wow.
like
I've never been, obviously, so I don't know.
Wait, is
You're
there
not-
really an airport in Bakersfield?
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Meadows
terminals.
Field.
No shit.
We fly
There's-
straight to Texas
We
from
fly
here.
out to Dallas from
I
every
thought
year.
we were all just joking around, having a
No,
good
no.
time. There's a real live airport here.
There's an
Okay.
airport, I think, too, Harris Ranch, isn't there? Right
Yeah.
out. Yeah, you could fly in and fly out. But it's like a little one-lane
Mhm.
landing pad, and it's mostly for private planes. But this, you could actually take commercial flights.
Well,
Yeah.
funny story about that. We have another private airport here, southeast Bakersfield, and we were doing a job up in Shafter, which is about 15, 20 minutes
Mhm.
north, and we have a cleaning company. So these people were literally paying us because they were doing remodeling
Oh, it's
to
years
go
ago.
every day to mop a hallway that was 5 feet wide by 10 feet long. I was like, you know how much we have to charge you for that? Like, I don't care, just do it.
Seriously?
Okay, yeah.
Like,
I didn't wanna
it's
do
like
it. I was like,
$200
I'll leave you a mop
to
bucket.
look at it.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
So we're doing our thing. He would sweep, I would mop. Doing our thing. I'm mopping, happy as can be because I'm making money. This
Every-
guy comes out, the owner of the company. This is one of the biggest fruit companies here in Bakersfield, and he's pissed. Like, everything okay, sir? No. What happened? The engine on my plane went out. I have to drive into Bakersfield. Like, hey, when
Oh,
that
no.
happens.
Oh damn!
Wait, it's a 15-minute
Damn.
drive?
Yeah.
I gotta drive.
Oh, you
Shoot.
this poor, I was hoping he would write a book about it, because
Yeah,
it was
you
real.
guys, life's hard, man.
Yeah.
First world problems, right?
Yeah, Dave. First
Not
jet
even
engine.
first
problems.
world. That's like 1%.
1% of the world problem.
Yeah, dude.
That was a crazy. Yeah, that was different. I'll give him that. He was a different guy. He was a nice guy, but he's different.
So Don Juan says, hey to James.
Hey, what's up, Don Juan? I was just about to respond to that. too.
Tom says, hey guys.
What up,
Guru
Tom?
As well. So, what can you tell people about Apostate's line of cigars? What kind of profiles are they going to be getting with that? What could they expect if they want to try your blends? For the first
Yeah,
time?
absolutely. Good question. So, my partner and I, we come from the retail side. My partner owns Beehive Cigars in Salt Lake City. I was his GM over there for a number of years, and that's kind of how we got started in this partnership together. And so during that time, obviously, we spent hours and hours smoking cigars together. We find we have very similarly developed palates, but then you also get the experience of speaking with customers every single day, finding out what their palate's like, right?
100%.
And then you're talking to reps, and then you're talking to manufacturers. So you get a pretty broad spectrum of what people are into. You obviously get a really good idea of what you're into when you have access to a humidor with thousands of facings, right? So when we make a cigar, what we're trying to do is obviously want it to be appealing to as many people as possible, but we're also blending for flavor, not strength, because we like to smoke, back to back if we can,
Right.
right?
I like that.
We got time in the office. We're working so hard, right? And you just want to smoke back to back. So we blend for flavor, not strength. But we also blend with like tradition in mind, but how can we do it different? You know what I mean? So like you look at our initiatory, that's our Habano. It's a very straightforward Habano. How do you change up a real straightforward Habano? Well, so you've got the Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper on there. You've got all Dominican filler, but we threw a Mexican San Andres binder on there to beef it up a little bit, right? So it's not rocket science, but at the same time, it's a small little touch that takes something traditional and you're going to get all the flavor notes you're used to, plus a little bit extra. We try to do that with every blend. We want it to be flavor centric, not knock you on your ass strong. I think the days of people blending super strong cigars are kind of fading a little bit. They had their day in the sun, and it feels like it's kind of moving away from that in the industry a little. I don't know what your experience is, but that's kind of the vibe I'm getting.
I definitely enjoy both.
Yeah.
I want
There's
that
a time
moment
and
where I
place,
want
right?
a
Yeah.
strong cigar. Don't
Mhm,
get me
mhm,
wrong,
mhm.
but I definitely like the balance aspect too. Like we were saying, especially like what you said, keeping tradition in mind, but trying to do your own thing. It's like when a good book comes out,
Right.
or just a piece of art in general.
Right.
It's not like they're completely throwing away
Yeah.
everything before it.
Right.
You're working off of the original stories. You're
Yeah.
working off those
People have been writing
archetypes.
stories and painting paintings for thousands of years. What makes yours good, right? Like, why are people going to take that off the wall? And that's kind of what you have to keep in mind is like there's a finite amount of tobacco out there. James and I have access to a lot of the same stuff, right? Like we work with the same people. So it's like, how are my blends going to differ from his? You smoke Sinistro and you know you're smoking Sinistro,
Oh, hell yeah.
right? It's got a signature profile. Same with Apostate. It's very, I don't want to say mellow, but it's a little more, everything's complex but subtle, right?
And I don't
So-
think the flavor boom is dying out. I just think that it was overly done.
It was heavy up front.
That boom happened.
That's
and
more appropriate.
everybody was
Yeah.
trying to do
Yeah.
it, and now everybody realizes like I
Some
think it's
people are
either
good at
stick
it.
to your lane,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think that's what ended up
Mhm.
happening is some people are sticking to their lane,
Right.
which is like made in
Do
Nicaragua,
what you're good at.
right?
Yeah, do what
That
you're good
boom
at.
happened. Everyone
Right.
wanted a cigar that was made in Nicaragua. Inch has their Nicaraguan.
Mhm.
La Aurora has their Nicaraguan, which are huge Dominican
Yeah,
companies.
Fuente's
right?
got a
Yeah.
Nicaraguan factory now. Yeah,
and everyone's
absolutely.
making their Nicaraguan label, even though it's a mixture of tobaccos, and some of them might not even be puros, but it's still got a Nicaragua
It says
label
Nicaragua
on
on
it. Yeah,
it,
so
yeah.
that's kind of fading now too.
Sure,
you know what I mean? So,
Sure.
and I think that's what happens in our industry a lot. Like if something happens, like the 6x60 thing, like someone started doing good with 6x60.
I was talking about that
So
last night.
Everybody
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
6x60s,
yeah,
you know, and now it's
yeah.
kind of dying out, and the 6x60 is not the hot one anymore, and the Robusto's not hot anymore. I mean, the Robusto still sells very, very
It's
well.
gonna sell
but
everywhere. Yeah.
Toro's kind of taking the Robusto, you know, like I'm doing way more volume wise
Mhm,
with Toro
mhm.
now, where before I was doing double the Robusto.
You know what I'm seeing is a lot of Lanceros and
Yeah.
Coronas right now.
Coming back, too,
Coming back.
yes.
Yeah.
The
People went
6x60
real big
died.
and now they're going back to that smaller ring gauge. Yeah.
The 6x60 kind of died off, and it's not as popular as it used to be, and a lot of guys are moving back into the Lancero and
Yeah.
the Coronas and stuff.
I think it's like a lot of the cigar nerds or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
this is where I'm getting more flavor from that wrapper because it's at that lower ratio. Let me try it.
Thank God for cigar nerds, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
honestly, like I feel like it really does drive the industry in new directions. It really does. Like,
And because I think before there was a lot of misinformation out there, and now that there's so many, like the craft scene is taken over, and there's so many cigar nerds, like I consider myself one too. Like even before I got into manufacturing, and you know, those nerds wanted to be just like me, wanted information. You know what I
Right.
mean, and the right information,
All the
and,
info, dude.
and the
Yeah.
right information, not
Yeah.
just what some blender told you. This
not
is
just
why
some
it's that way,
story
right?
about
Yeah.
how they found a stash
And
of
this is
tobacco.
why it's
Yeah,
that way. It's
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's that way. You know what I mean? Why? Like, okay, that story is a great story, but that
Some of the
doesn't mean
real-
it has to stay that
Yeah.
way forever. You know
What's
what I mean?
the real shit?
There's
Yeah.
actual process to it, and people are
Right.
interested in that.
Right.
Same way with like the craft beer
And that's the
boom.
thing. I think the days of like romanticizing cigars will never go away. You know, there's always got to be that lure behind it a little bit,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
it's a luxury item. You
Right.
know what I mean? But I feel like what you're saying is true, where it's more like the craft beer scene where they want the nuts and bolts. You
They
what I
want to
mean?
know why
wanna
that
know
IPA is an IPA.
Yeah,
What did
yeah.
they do to make it?
what
an IPA?
hops
Yeah.
did you use? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're curious about the construction. They're curious about the process. And I think that makes us as manufacturers have to stay on our toes. a
Yeah.
little, you know? Yeah.
And I'm not a beer guy like me. I'm a Corona at most guy. You know what I mean? But like, you know, there's guys out there that are like chasing after the orange IPA
Yeah,
cream. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and like me, I'm just not a beer guy. So I'm
Mhm.
not chasing after those things. I'm more of a cigar guy. So
Right.
I chase after cigar flavor profile. So
Right.
like I kind of understand, you know, that whole thing. But I do drink like scotch and stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, beer is like
Oh, I saw.
literally Corona. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw your cabinet. Yeah.
But beer is like literally just Corona or Modelo because it's just, you know, it's easy to go down
It
on
serves
the
a
beach,
function.
right? Yeah.
And that's the thing too. It's really nice that everyone has their own thing
Yeah.
because you're not trying to reach every single person on the planet
No,
with
man.
cigars,
You
with beer,
can't.
with anything.
You can't.
The
No,
fact that there's niches and these really dedicated people who like to learn
I agree.
about this thing
Yeah.
makes it so much better because there's only a finite, like you said, finite amount of tobacco. If you try to mass produce to 10 million people
Exactly.
the exact same, it's
And
it's gonna
you
suffer.
know, and that's the thing is we're all here to sell a product, right? Like let's bottom line it. We're all here to sell a product, but at the same time, for a lot of manufacturers right now, I think the bulk of them, the labor of love is in the process. You know, it's not necessarily about how many people are going to buy it. It's about how many people who smoke it are really going to have an experience with it. You know.
and who are
So,
going to really
yeah.
enjoy it and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about it. And
yeah.
you know, at the end of the day, yeah, we're all here to make money. I was talking to
Why would you run a business otherwise? Yeah.
I was talking to a distributor out in another country, and he wanted exclusivity for like 2 years, but his order was really small. And then I was talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, so you guys are basically about the bottom line, you know, like that's all you guys care about." And I'm like, "No, that's not the point." But I didn't work so hard. I didn't like if I didn't put so much labor of love into it, then I wouldn't care so much about the bottom line at the end of the day too. But no matter what, like I know my product, I love it so much, and that's why it doesn't make sense for me to tie you in for 2 years with a little order. You know what I mean? But obviously we worked it out and stuff, blah blah blah. But you know, again, that's where it comes down to. Like at the end of the day, we're still in it for making money. You know what I mean? So like it's also like
it's a business.
You get to hit up so many people like. They're like, "Oh, I really want to try your cigars, and you mind sending me some samples?" And yeah, dude, if I was a billionaire, I would send out millions of samples to everybody if I could. But at the end of the day, you know, forget the cigars. At the end of the day, you're still paying that shipping price, and whatever it is, USPS or not, it's $5. You do that 100 times a month, which I could easily do because I get 100 of those messages a month. You're talking about $500 a month. You know what I mean? So. You know, for a boutique company, 500 isn't make or break you, but again, your cost of the cigars, shipping, all that comes into play. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I would love to give everyone free cigars to try and this and that, but it's kind of hard to justify, especially being a boutique. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to there's free cigars are going to happen. It just has to happen in the right way, right? It's got to make sense for everybody. That's not why we're here. You know what I mean? We want to make people aware of the brand. We want you to have the opportunity to buy the brand and support your local brick and mortar, because that's what brick and mortars are for. 100%. Without brick and mortars, you have no cigar industry. So we want you to have a reason to go into their shop and spend your dollars. That's it.
Oh yeah. And like your contact, you said it was overseas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They even use the word bottom line. That's the whole. It's the bottom line. It's got to be at some point.
Exactly. Yeah. It is the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, that is what we're all in business for. And the only way I could keep making new blends and bringing out new things is by generating income, right?
Yeah, that's just what Dan said. Beyond profit, you need enough income to support your ability to continue.
Exactly.
See, Dan's a smart guy, bro.
Dan's I don't know a lot of millionaires in the industry. You know what I mean? I know a couple. But like the guys on the ground floor, like James, who are just doing the thing. I mean, you're not a millionaire.
No,
right? I mean, you know what I mean.
Far
I'm not a millionaire. So
working on it.
Maybe someday. Let's go rob a bank or something. I don't know.
Not on the show,
but that's not why we're doing it. That's not why we're doing it.
Chris, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything about the mob too, bro. Leaf Mob. I love working on stuff for you guys. I know you guys probably can't see us, but you guys could hear us, I think, right?
Give it a second, yeah.
Okay, so give us a second.
You can keep talking.
That battery died fast, bro.
I'll keep. Anyway, so I love working with the Leaf Mob. I'm just waiting for you guys to reach out again to do another one. I think it's been enough time, bro. So tell Trip and them, Chris.
As soon as Lauren jumped on, the battery died.
I know, huh?
And, Lauren's one of the
girls at the show. Yeah, I don't know if we should bring her.
She might be bad luck now.
I don't know, Lauren.
Bad show if we take her.
The only reason I did this event was for you, but now there's bad mojo here.
You got comments on the YouTube right now, dude. Hashimoto Motorsports, Hashimotorsports. There you go. Asking if I'm from Utah. Yes,
he is from Utah.
I am, and that's kind of the whole thing behind the brand. Is my partner and I were raised in Utah, raised religious. Obviously, left the fold. We have a few too many vices for the fold, so we left. We forged our own community in the cigar world, and that's where Apostate comes from. It's a way for us to tie in our history and our roots into what we love and what we're passionate about now. So, but yes, we are both from Salt Lake City. The brand is based in Salt Lake City. Our cigars are manufactured by Hochi Blanco in the Dominican Republic, and then we're distributed out of Reno.
Real quick, Dan asked a question. Do you guys have any accounts in Florida? Remind you, Apostate has only been out for about 9 months now. So
I have 2 accounts in Florida. Yeah.
He has 2 accounts in Florida. You want to tell them the name?
You can go to Don Kiki in Daytona Beach, or you can go to Zach's Beach Castle Cigars in Mary Esther. We are
Perfect.
back on video.
You can see this beautiful face again, guys. You're
Finally,
welcome.
dude. Thank you.
I'm getting better at that.
My face looked better when the camera was off, but
Yeah.
it's
And
all.
do you guys have a website that's selling any of your product right now or no?
So we don't sell directly online ourselves, but there
Yeah.
are a few of our retail partners that have online sources that you can go through.
You wanna
Probably the
drop
best
off
one is tinderbox.com. That's probably your best bet.
And so another thing with the Apostate is they have 4 blends in
Right
4
now.
sizes.
Mhm.
So it's 1 blend per size. So
One
the-
size per blend, yes, sir. Yeah.
So the Serpent Feather will always be in
Corona. It's a Corona Larga. It's a 6.5 by 46. Yeah.
So it's a Corona, Corona Gorda, Corona Larga.
Mhm.
So they, then they have the Habano, which is a Toro.
Toro,
right?
yep.
Yeah. And then
Yep.
they have the Connecticut, which is a
It's a 45 ring gauge torpedo. It's fucking cool. Yeah, it's a cool size.
skinny
Yeah.
torpedo.
It's one of the only 45 ring gauges on the U.S. market. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Hochi actually had to make those molds just to make that cigar for us. He had a few, and then something happened and they broke, so he had to make more
More,
molds. Yeah, just to make that cigar.
And so the ones that broke had to have been wooden. So
Oh, yeah.
he went to
Oh,
plastic.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So
And
that
then,
mold is a very, very old mold that he used.
it was
45,
a mold straight from Cuba.
Yeah.
I didn't break shit.
And then they also-
I wasn't there.
Can't blame
Your
you. No.
blend broke it, bro.
My blend broke it.
It was too much flavor. It exploded. What are you
too
doing?
much, man. I
And
don't
then
know
you
what to
guys
tell
have the Maduro also.
Yeah, that's the Deseret, the Maduro. It's like 5.5 by 52 or 54. Excuse me.
Okay, so Dan's gonna go through Tinderbox because the other 2 locations are 4 to 5 hours away.
There you go.
So yeah,
That's
Yeah.
the great thing about the internet, though.
Yeah,
Just in case,
yeah,
you know.
that's it.
and as a boutique, it's kind of hard. Like as Sinistro, I won't sell to consumer directly because we want the brick and mortars
You want
to
brick
make
and mortar?
it.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, we won't sell to non-websites that don't have like a retail store
Retail attached to it.
them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's very hard to be a boutique and still not sell online or
Mhm.
and you know what I mean, and still be successful because people like Dan are not going to drive, 4 or 5 hours to go and
Right.
find the cigar.
What you can
and I
do,
totally
though-
understand that.
Yeah, I mean, in Dan's situation, what I would do and what I usually recommend is reach out to your closest brick and mortar. If they don't carry what you're looking for, ask them to carry it, and then buy from them, over the phone or something, and have them shipped to you. Find a way to support your closest brick and mortar. Like
Yeah.
that's and all day. Like
And because one thing I'll say is, as from the retail side and stuff, and maybe it's not happening in your town yet, but a lot of stuff like that is happening in California. Like, let's say Laguna Niguel, right? There's a city in Laguna Niguel that has a beautiful shop, which I'm not in, so I'm not trying to promote the shop, but beautiful shop right across the street from the ocean. If you sit on the top, they have beer that
hell
they
yeah.
serve. You could sit outside on
go.
the patio, see
Yeah.
the ocean. It's beautiful.
Let's go right now.
But if they lose their license or if they shut down for any reason, the city has already said they're not going to give any more tobacco licenses out.
Oh,
So if that
So
guy,
when they're done, they're done.
they're done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So-
dude, yeah,
if you're not supporting the brick and mortars,
right.
at some point, and I get it, like everyone looks at the same thing that happened with the indoor ban, right? The indoor smoking ban. Everyone in Texas was like, hey, it's not going to happen here. It's Texas. But eventually in time, it did happen there. So
Right.
the reason why I stress so much taking care of your brick and mortars is because at the end of the day, you don't want them to disappear because that is
Right.
still the place that you're going to go escape and have a cigar. You know what I mean? Not everyone,
Yeah, what are you gonna do when they're gone?
yeah,
What are you
not
gonna
everyone's
do?
going to smoke in their backyard. Like I
Yeah,
smoke in my
yeah.
backyard all the time, but sometimes I want to be away from the whole house environment and be around people like I don't know or I do know, or it
Right.
depends on the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So one thing is that's one thing I constantly stress: supporting your brick and mortars because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right.
You want them to be there later on.
You don't get events in your local area. You're not gonna.
Right.
You're not gonna probably set one up in your backyard. You might. I don't
Exactly,
know. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
Well, who's gonna come to your backyard? Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
As
that'd be
manufacturers,
cool,
we will
but-
not show up to your backyard. You know,
It's
I
probably not
can't
gonna
sell
happen.
to anyone without a tobacco license. So
right.
I'll come
I
to
mean,
your backyard.
that's
Don't get me wrong.
different. This is different,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got you, dog.
Like,
What do you-
I'll hang out in your backyard, but we're not selling cigars in your
Yeah.
backyard.
I'm not gonna ask you to set up next to the bouncy house. No, it's for my 5-year-old's birthday. Just set up. It's fine.
Why not? Can I bounce and smoke?
I mean, if you're talented, I believe in you. But if
I
you
believe
pop
in
that
you.
damn thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can
I'll pay
holes
for
in
it, but
it.
I'll do some
You're
backflips.
dropping ash on that bouncy house.
kicking kids over. It's okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
Come on, man. You gotta keep the ashtray next to you at all
There you
times.
go.
So there's
Just-
no
you're
dropping.
just-
Yeah, just Ash while you bounce.
All right, man. I want to see you bounce. Mental picture of you bouncing. It's pretty funny.
That's some serious talent right
So,
there.
so I'm gonna ask you, kind of put you on the spot here real quick. Being your first PCA, what were some of the pros and cons that you got out of the event?
Mostly pros, man. Not a lot of cons. The con part comes from, as a company starting out, I can't afford a booth like El Septimo, right? Like,
No one,
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
can
not
you?
too many people
right.
can afford their
But
booth. Bro.
but
Come
I'm
on, let's be
saying,
realistic.
for me, my little 10x10 with my little table, with my little backdrop, like that's what works for us, and it fits the vibe of the brand. So that's not even necessarily a con, right? It's just one of those things like, you got to spend money to be there. How much money are you going to spend? So that's all like dumb, back office shit that doesn't matter. As far as pros go, getting FaceTime with retailers, getting FaceTime with media, just having general interest that we would not have garnered otherwise. You can't replace the experience of PCA when it comes to that. And that's why PCA is important. Like, could we have skipped PCA? Yeah. I mean, I could have been walking around the show floor just trying to hand people cigars, but
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work, dude. When you have a
Doesn't work,
booth, people see you, they stop, they want to hear your story, and telling that story is what gets them interested in smoking your tobacco and carrying your brand. So, not really, honestly, net wise, not a lot of cons. Not a lot of cons, man. The cost, but everybody's
yeah,
paying
you got to
that
pay to
cost.
play. Anyways,
Everybody's paying that cost. That's not just me. So
and even though it's gonna cost us more, I heard 2024. Did they make you vote yet if they wanted New Orleans or Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I picked New Orleans just because for the last 5 years I've been going to Las Vegas and
In
I've
July,
been getting a lot of
yeah.
I'm sure New Orleans. Let me tell you, New Orleans is not as
it's
better.
not
in
better.
July.
No,
Yeah,
there's
it's
no
insane humidity.
Yeah, let's go
But
to Alaska for fuck's
You're
sake.
gonna start seeing East Coast stores, so I'm very excited. Like
Right,
I'm excited
right.
for PCA every year, but I'm more excited for 2024 because I'm gonna start seeing more East Coast guys. You know
If
what
they
I mean?
decide to go to New Orleans, right?
I mean,
yeah.
It's easy to go.
I as a retailer, if I was vetoing the West Coast one, I would show up to the East Coast. Right?
Sure.
I mean, this is my business.
The only difference there from years past where it has been in New Orleans is it's a lot harder to smoke in that town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smoking bans and
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
other stuff that happened. Yeah.
Now, with PPE being in Vegas, I think that's another reason why they should have it in New Orleans.
Yeah.
That way you get
Spread it out.
both
But
sides.
these guys are competing, so you got to,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, sort of. TP is a different animal, though.
It is.
I think both shows deserve space. I think they both serve a very good purpose. Sharing Vegas is weird, right? But
yeah.
I don't know, man. Not for me. Not a lot of cons. I really can't think of too many downsides to that situation.
And I heard PPE is going to be 2 levels next year, right? They're going to do like everything. Everything's
Cool.
going to have its
Bring
own
it on.
section.
Yeah.
Like anything you can imagine is going to be there. Anything that they would have at a smoking lounge,
right.
not or a smoke shop,
Mm.
forget lounge, will be in Vegas at TPE this year. So I heard it's going to be 2 levels. If it's not this year,
I don't think they're
next
bringing
year
in
for sure.
cigarettes, but I think that's the only exception.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
think,
too much
I think
about
they
that.
had
Yeah.
like an exception about that, but
Do cigarettes need that though?
that's
Maybe?
what I'm
know,
saying.
yeah,
like,
you don't
I
need a
think Philip
cigarette
Morris is
trade
doing
show,
great.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they'll
I
be
think they're
fine.
all right. Yeah.
I will say that TP has a lot more stripper poles than PCA had. Just walking through the other
TP
side.
is a different vibe.
I didn't walk through the other side. This next year, I'm gonna make it
An effort to
just go walk the show. Yeah, I kind of want to see everything. You know what I mean? A lot of people were.
It's worth taking in. Yeah.
I had people coming up to me at TPE, which from our industry, which I would have never thought, but they come running. Hey, dude, I got the CBD gummy. Like I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. You see all
I
these.
would have never thought.
You
this
see all
guy,
the cigar guys
Yeah.
going crazy over the
And you're
cannabis
like,
stuff.
what?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
You?
Well,
Really?
my first year at TPE, I went the entire row. Every single person had a bowl of CBD gummies.
Yeah.
So I just went every single one.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel
You just go
It was-
for it.
Got a little bit of sugar high. That's about it.
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
They were lying to me because I felt no CBD. I felt
I
no
get it.
relaxation.
I mean, in that environment, it's hard to feel relaxed.
Yeah,
right?
that's
true.
You're on a show floor. You're in Vegas. Like all the CBD in the world can't fix what Vegas does to you, dude.
And like
Fair
every
point.
booth had like 10 models.
Yeah.
yeah,
That was another thing about
yeah.
TPE. Every booth has like 10 models.
all the
at every
ladies.
booth,
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
You can't say it doesn't work.
Yeah. You see all the booths with the models at it like constantly full, but you got to look at it this way. Are they just walking up to talk to the girl for 5 minutes, try to throw their line and obviously let's
Fall
be
on their
realistic,
face.
99% fail, right?
Yeah.
And just to come grab something from free from you to leave. Now, is that cost effective? Does that make sense? Like, it depends. You get what I'm saying? Like, for me,
sure.
like, does it make more, like, don't get me wrong, we usually have models at our booth too. This last year we didn't, but next year we
Coleman.
probably will. Yeah.
Yeah, you got Coleman.
Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
come on.
I'm talking
He's
about the male
sexy.
model. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about the female
no.
model, you know? He brings all the girls to the yard.
Yeah,
don't
of
get
course
me
he
wrong.
does.
But I'm just talking
And
about
some of the boys, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, bro. But I'm just saying, like, we want to bring more boys to the yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
They help. They help.
but like a lot of guys were coming up and just talking to the models. You know what I mean? And like, don't get me wrong, I could care less. But like when I'm running to the front, like, oh, do you need anything? And they're like, oh no, I'm just here for her. You're like,
Yeah.
Cool,
thanks for
I'm
wasting
done
everybody's
running. You know, like
time.
I don't want to
Yeah.
run more. You
Yeah.
know, and our booth's not huge, but you know, you're running from one end to the other to make sure that guy is seeing somebody. You know, and then I remember the thing that kind of annoyed me the most was like our half wheel article at PCA was like I think it was part of the heading. It was like, and Sinistro had a French model, and I get it. She was gorgeous, you know, and she was very French and exotic, but
So
like
she's not
but-
shipping out anytime soon.
Who
right?
gives a-
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
made
like-
it into half.
like,
wheel?
are you
All right,
serious?
yeah.
That was your like it was either on the status, you know, like how they
Right.
put us, or it was like literally in the first paragraph, and I was like, you know, and I was like, I don't know if I want. This year we did have way better half wheel coverage. Don't get me wrong, we were very very happy with it. And every year we've been happy with our half wheel coverage. But to me, like, I would have rather not have read it off. You know what I mean? I would have rather been more focused on what I was there for, not like the French model that was serving coffee,
She's great.
which was
But that's
great.
not
Yeah,
the
she was
point.
awesome. She's a very nice lady too. I love her. She's a very nice woman.
Yeah, that is. It's a little. There's a balance there. There's got to be.
Richard, I'm with you on that one about the bouncy house, bro. But the thing is, we're not at his house. Or if we were, I would have forced that situation. We would have done the interview at the bouncy
You'd
house.
be
So
seeing James bouncing right now.
That
we're
could
just
happen.
not near it, or else I'd be bouncing. I promise.
I'll get we got the pool. I'll rent some of those or buy some of those inflatable tanks. We have tank battle in the pool. Boom, done.
You guys have a pool?
Yeah.
Why don't I ever
Why
see
are
you
we
guys
here?
like? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
why don't
why-
I ever see you guys like
yeah,
taking
I'm-
pictures at the pool and shit? You guys all take
Oh,
pictures
you got.
all the time.
You guys got to sign up for the Facebook supporter then.
Oh, my bad.
They're
my
living
bad.
life quiet, man.
There's
You know,
we
yeah.
can't share all.
Oh, that's the OnlyFans. It's the Facebook supporter.
Yeah. You guys talk about models like when we go through TPE. I know a lot of those models working there because that's the same people I work with.
Right.
So it's like, what's up, Jesse? What's up? Good job. All right,
Oh, so
have
you
fun.
work with Jesse, huh?
Yeah.
He?
Just no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't want to find out.
Hey, in this day and age, you know,
Whatever.
you never know.
Whatever.
You do you.
If you like it, you like it.
And Chris, brick and mortar NFG at Underground. I would love to do NFG someday, but I haven't been asked yet. So
NFG.
ask Don. Huh?
NFG.
They do a once a year in Dallas, Texas at Underground Cigars. They do like a. Once a
Underground,
year.
it's big.
It's huge,
It's
yeah,
big,
it's huge.
dude, yeah.
And I've been there a couple times. Store's phenomenally nice. I like it. They did move since I've been there last, but
Yeah, they got a nice patio out there now in their
Yeah.
little back area. Yeah, it's a cool spot.
More reasons to go to Texas. I do love Texas.
So many reasons to go to Texas, man. Yeah, absolutely. My wife's watching on Facebook. What's up, baby?
Nice. Yeah, I was-
Say hi to my wife.
I said,
Say hi.
Hi, Jan.
All right. There you go.
Hello. Oh man. Mark, Richard, Adam checking in from across the pond over in England. How you doing?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he said good evening.
Yeah,
That's why I was
late.
like, he must be not from around here.
It's late over
He's
there. I
not near
apologize.
us. Yeah.
I wonder if other Richard has checked in. I didn't see his name pop up, but he's in Australia. He always lets us know.
Oh,
Hey,
right on. That's an
watching from the
18-hour
future. I'm like,
difference. Yeah, man.
Watching from the future, that is
Yeah.
good.
Watching
like
from
it.
tomorrow.
So, what can people expect next from you guys? You said that each of your cigars is in one vitola.
Mhm.
Would you guys like to expand that, or are you guys going to keep that going with your next blend?
So with the core line, so when you look at our logo, kind of our plan is to have 8 cigars. There's 8 letters in Apostate. There's 8 symbols in the band. Each blend that we've released so far is represented by one of the symbols, right? So we got 4 blends out. We got 4 to go. We are going to stick with the one size per blend format through those 8 core lines. But what we want to do, you know, things we've talked about down the road are like, you know, maybe we do like an event only special size of one of the blends, or we do like a yearly small batch release of like, here's an 8-pack of Coronas of all the blends or something like that, you know. find a way to kind of mess around and change up sizes. But for right now, and you never know I mean, this is our first year on the market, right? So things could change easily. But right now, we're pretty locked in with the one size for Vitola, or one Vitola per blend. We wanna highlight the flavor of each blend the way that we meant for it to be blended, and the easiest way for us to do that is to keep it true to the size that we tested it in. So,
Makes sense.
you know, right now that's what it is. As far as what's coming next, my partner and I are flying down to the DR in November to do 2 more blends. So next year you will see 2 more releases from us at least, hopefully maybe more, but we're sticking with 2 for the plan for now.
It's a solid
So,
plan, though. I like that
yeah,
idea. And
yeah.
when you have a good idea, kind of stick with it.
Just stick with it, see how it goes. You know what I mean? We can adapt as needed down the road, right? But for right now, the plan is the plan, and we're gonna stick to the plan. So,
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
I like it. Now, we were talking, you guys said New Orleans for
2024.
PCA.
Maybe they made us vote on it.
Yeah,
So
they had
we
the manufacturers
voted
vote on where to hold future shows.
a little
Yeah.
down the road still. Either way,
Yeah.
if it happens or not.
There's no announcements yet.
2023 will be in Vegas still,
Still, yeah.
at the Venetian at the Sands Expo, and then 2024 is where it's up in there. So the only choices we had on voting was, I thought we were gonna have a whole list of, when I saw the email, I thought we were gonna get a whole bunch of different,
A few
like
more
Texas,
options. Yeah.
Houston,
yeah.
you know,
It was only
but
a
it was
couple.
only Vegas and
And New Orleans.
So,
Wasn't Orlando on the list too?
No, I didn't see it on the email. Maybe they added it
I
on
don't
later
know.
or something, but I didn't see
I
it
know
on the
they've
email.
held the show in Orlando in years
They
past
have,
as well. Yeah.
And Orlando's
so-
a great place to hold it, bro. More people would like to go out. I get
Right,
it.
right,
You know,
right.
by you're in Florida,
Right.
more vacation spot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's a beach, obviously.
Yep.
Sun. You know, it's like kind of like Vegas. It's a destination spot, more things to do.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But the problem you have with your East Coast guys coming to Vegas is the same problem you'll run in with your West Coast guys
Going
not
into
wanting
Orlando,
to go to
yeah.
Orlando, right? So somewhere in the middle would be nice. Right?
Yeah.
I would like to, like me, as when I was on the retail side, if I was on the West Coast, I would still like to go to the East Coast stuff, because I get to see a new city, new state.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I mean?
different.
Like,
Yeah.
and it's a business trip. It's not a personal trip. You know what I mean? So, and obviously, it's a little bit easier when you're not, like if you don't have a family and blah blah blah, and you have stuff going on. Like back then, I didn't care. Like I didn't have family trips planned or whatnot.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm sure now it's a little bit harder with people who have families and stuff, because they probably want to take a family vacation. But
Yeah, it's all
at the end of the day, like, I think people got to realize more it's for the relationship building as opposed to,
how many sales you get.
or
Yeah,
or even on the retailer side, right? Because let's say you're a retailer in Ohio, I see you 3 times a year.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So to come up to me, and don't get me wrong, any retailer can come and ask me to do a house blend for them or whatnot, but it's a little bit easier when you're face to face with
Yeah,
someone and
totally.
be like, hey James, I was thinking about this, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously I do more house cigars for people in California because I'm out here, you know what I mean? So it's just good to be able to see more people from different areas. I
Yeah.
think it should be, and I know it's hard for PCA, but even when they do Vegas, I don't think it should be Vegas every year. I think it should be, somewhere else on the West Coast. And I get it, it's hard, but that's where, coming up with different ideas, like
Right.
maybe not do it at a convention center, maybe rent a big house. LA's got a ton of those, you know what I mean? And use
That'd be
the
cool.
whole backyard
Yeah.
for the
That'd be
event,
badass.
and
Sure.
there's a lot of houses here that have acres and acres and acres of huge backyards that you could run a show at and do a PCA at. But again, like, I'm not necessarily saying, just stick to California and Vegas, but I think it should switch every year from what city it's in. And it's harder on manufacturers because, remember, I have to get my booth to that area. So I'm paying for shipping, I'm paying for this, I'm paying a little bit more, but I think long run it would be worth it to pay that little bit more for shipping and getting the stuff around to different places in the country, but just bounce the show around as much
Right.
as you can,
I like that. Yeah, it makes sense. And you're right. There's a house here that's a mansion. It's got its own private lake. There's that. That's just some acres.
And I guarantee you it's on Airbnb. Or
It
it might,
is,
it might be, or you know what I'm saying? So, but dude, like, and again, it doesn't have to be in Beverly Hills, but I know a ton of houses in Beverly Hills that have acreages behind it, and like you could literally do a PCA there, like very easily.
Yeah.
It seems like some events they did at a private airport hangar.
Right?
Yeah,
That'd
I
be
saw
cool.
one
That'd
in,
be cool. That'd be cool.
in Fullerton, I think. Yeah, I did one in Fullerton. It was pretty cool. You know, like again, you could rent out the whole private airport and do something. You know.
Yeah, we just did the Boutique Cigar Festival in Indiana, in Martinsville, at a vineyard. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like that was
missed
cool.
it.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
so sad.
awesome. That was great.
So there's venues you can find. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they do the one in Colorado every year. The
Rocky Mountain Cigar Festival. Yeah.
So there
It's
is
outdoor.
places to
Yeah.
hold.
Yeah.
Your guys just might have to go work a little bit harder to find them, or just space them out further in the future so you could get.
Yeah, there's nothing
location
wrong with
locked
having to be
in. Yeah.
creative. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the only idea that they're holding on to is if you get the same spot, you get that locked in. So
Yeah,
you're
it's-
guaranteed
But
to
they
Well-
didn't get it
all that.
locked in. That 1 year, remember, they kicked us out and made us go to. We
To
had
the
the contract,
convention
and they
center.
made us go to the convention center. So you even in Vegas, you're not really locked in.
That's rough.
So
That is rough.
you know what I mean. At any point, Vegas in their contract, especially Sands, I think they write that you have these dates, but if a bigger venue comes by and we could take their money and they're willing to pay more, we're going to take them. And that's what happened when we ended up going to the convention center for PCA 1 year.
Was that Star Trek convention or something?
No, that was Microsoft or something.
Microsoft.
It was,
Yeah, it was a big chip company.
You,
big,
Yeah,
you
man. It
don't
was-
really fight Microsoft.
Nah,
right? I'm sorry. They're
it
going to
was-
have the
yeah.
money to do what they
Well,
want.
look, comparatively in our industry, there's not very many industries we could compete with, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like how
Oh, I could-
almost any other
I could-
convention would sell us out other than, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I'll bully the Star Trek people out of there myself. I'll just do it.
because the Star
Get
Trek
it,
convention
get it.
probably brings in more. The
So
Star Wars
many people.
convention
So many people.
probably brings in way more than our industry does. So you gotta, like, you know what I mean? You gotta
Yeah.
realize who you are, where you're at, and realize that sometimes it's better to rent a house, or you know what I mean? Something.
No, the Star Trek one is unofficial. No one actually that owns anything from Star Trek runs that one. It's
And
just
they people go out and they
yeah,
just do it
It's
themselves.
ridiculously huge.
Wow.
I think it's like 500,000 people a year or something. It's there's just the numbers. They got the numbers. So
I'm glad I'm a cigar geek and not a Star Trek.
yeah, that's as much as I know about it. That's as far as I
I'm
go.
sure,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know my Worfs or my Kirks. All right, I know they got the Enterprise. Boom, I know that
Boom.
much. See, I know.
You're halfway there, man.
Oh, yeah. It's a
I
galaxy
know,
far, far away.
I remember
so
this. Whoa, that's a Klingon sign, right?
that's one of them. No, that's shit. What are they
You
called?
guys are not
know
speaking
this.
my language right now. I'm
You
not.
know.
Come on, bro. You've never seen one
no,
episode?
My partner is the Star Trek nerd,
Okay,
not
my
me.
bad.
You got to talk to Kendrick.
I'm
That's
sitting
fair.
next to the wrong
I
guy.
can't help you. Yeah, I'm not the guy.
That's the thing, though. You got the other side of
Mm.
it, so they know the other part of the knowledge. You don't have to
There
know.
you go.
know?
I don't have to hold any of that info.
So what's up, Eduardo? Thank you for joining us. Paul, you as well.
Oh.
Thank you.
What's going on, Eduardo? How you doing, brother?
He said, "How'd I miss seeing James?"
He's a big Sinistro fan.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Big fan.
But
Sinistro? Never heard of him.
yeah, it's pretty good stuff, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Set up a pop-out shop up outside of my Frightmare. What's a
Frightmares is a big haunted house attraction in Salt Lake City.
Oh no,
The-
Frightmare.
oh,
Frightmare in
shit.
this case for Richard is a Texas Frightmare weekend. We
Oh,
go to it once
Frightmare
a
weekend.
year.
All right, cool.
It's a horror convention, indie movies, horror people.
Hell yeah, that
It's a-
sounds fun.
It's a great time.
That'd
We
be
go
cool. The
every
cosplay
year.
there is probably insane.
They do
Yeah,
a great job.
Yeah, cool.
What do you call it? That's how we met. That's how we got Mr. Red into Ron Perlman's hand.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah. I
time.
remember that. Yeah,
Went
yeah.
out there.
Okay.
That dude was crazy. He's awesome, but he's crazy.
That's perfect.
Ron
What do
Perlman.
you call it? He's
Legend.
allowed to be.
He
Well-
can do whatever he wants.
I think he's a great actor, and I usually think people are great actors when I dislike them as a, you know what I mean? And I hated him in Sons of Anarchy. Like I fucking despised him.
Because he's a good actor.
Because he's a good actor.
dude,
Yeah. So he did. Like I
he
think he's
did his
phenomenal.
job, bro. Yeah.
But it made me hate him. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
you
it
see
made
him on
me
the
hate
street,
him.
you're like,
Yeah,
that
fuck
motherfucker.
you, bro. I know what you did to him.
You're why
I saw
Jackson's
that
dead,
episode,
you son
asshole.
of a bitch. Yeah.
How dare you do that to him? You know what I mean? I forgot the guy's name, but because that show ended a long time ago. I hated the ending.
Dude, one of the
Yeah,
best shows ever
yeah.
made. Until
But the
end,
ending
right?
sucked.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ending was terrible.
You're telling me someone with that much drive, with that, how many times did he get out of shit? All of a sudden, the last time he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna kill myself."
Fucking,
Time
I'm
to go
gonna
into
drive
it.
into
Seriously,
a
I'm trying to do a
semi.
semi-truck.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
I've. Sorry if you haven't finished
Yeah.
it, my bad, dude. But if you haven't finished it, you've been living under a rock. But like, seriously, does that make sense? A guy who got out of shit so many times, the last time he's like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run into a truck." Like, no, I'm sorry.
That's
doesn't
not how
happen.
Jax
Yeah,
goes
that doesn't-
out.
yeah.
Right? Yeah. That
Jackson does not kill himself.
Yeah,
bro.
that
Come
was
on.
writers needing to end a show.
That's all it was.
That
Yeah,
happens
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot.
The writers
That
were like, dude,
happens
how
a
do we
lot.
end this shit?
Man, look
bro?
at Dexter. Look at the last 2 seasons of Dexter. Like that shit happens all the time. You just gotta end the show. Look at Game of Thrones. Let's not even
Sopranos.
talk about it. Yeah, like
Sopranos, I hated,
yeah.
bro. I was like, come
yeah,
on,
it
bro.
cuts in the middle of the
yeah.
day.
Like,
Come
you
on.
fuckers.
I
Yeah,
dedicated I dedicated 9 years of my life to
Mhm.
you, and you just go into a bathroom and never come out,
Yeah,
motherfucker.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
seriously, like that's the ending you give me, you know. And like I love how at the end of the show they're like, oh, it's for you to depict it however you
Yeah,
want.
take
it
and
how
no
you
clues.
will.
I don't
Like,
want to do
I
that.
don't
Yeah.
want to do
Just
that's
tell
your
me-
job.
yeah.
That's your job.
I did 9 years with you, bro, for you not to leave me hanging, and you left me hanging, dude. Like, come on.
I don't know any shows that ended like I want them to end. Though.
I
That's the
mean,
thing.
Breaking Bad,
Ozark
Ozark.
ended amazingly, bro. I loved it. I don't want to ruin it because
Yeah,
it's still on.
I think Breaking Bad finished perfectly.
Yeah, Breaking Bad did a very good job
good
at the
stuff.
end.
You got to hide Ozark for me because I haven't watched all the way through.
Ozark-
No
Ozark's
spoilers.
ending was-
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No spoilers.
Sorry, you not watching either.
No, I'm not done with
Okay,
season
okay.
4.
Ozark
no spoilers.
finished. Ozark finished the way Sopranos should have.
All right.
I'll put it that way.
All right.
I thought it was a phenomenal way to
Say
end
no
the
more.
show. Yeah. And I think they ended it at the perfect time too,
Mm.
because it was getting that kind of redundant.
That's the problem a lot of shows
Yeah.
have. They want 10 seasons, right? It doesn't need to be 10 seasons.
And then
Yeah,
Sopranos too. The last 2 seasons was a soap opera. dude.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
you're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't care about your kids' lives.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
bury somebody in the
I agree.
desert. Come
I
on,
agree.
dog.
I agree.
Like, who cares about your kid being depressed? Like, go smack him around like you would smack, like you did. You
Like
killed
you
your
do to
cousin,
everybody
bro.
else
Yeah.
in the show. Yeah.
Yeah,
dude.
come on, dude.
Yeah.
You killed your own cousin
Oh,
because
you
he
know
was a
what?
fuck up.
The
Like,
Wire. You remember
yes,
The
The
Wire?
Wire ended
That
very, very great.
dude.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah.
The Wire, I think, was one of the best shows ever.
That was the precursor for everything that came after.
Dude,
man. Yeah.
amazing.
Yep.
Yes. Hands down, Wire was off the hook.
Real quick, Dan's got to go because it's 5 o'clock. He's got a
Hurricane, yeah.
coming.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, be
Hunker
careful,
down,
bro.
guys.
Keep hearing
Florida.
about that, yeah.
It's a category
Florida.
4, yeah.
Prayers to Florida, man. I don't even pray, but prayers for
Yeah,
Florida,
dude.
dude. Like,
I-
damn.
I hope everyone there is safe. I was talking to literally my one of my people that sell for me out in Florida, like a retailer, and he showed me the map, and like it hit a category 4, and there was a blue dot, and it was literally on
Yeah,
top of him, and I
yeah.
was like, oh shit.
No, I was
I'm like,
talking
stop
to,
texting me. Go do what you
yeah.
gotta do to stay dry.
I was talking to Bruce Bush, you know, Bruce with Don Kiki,
Yeah.
Karen Berger. Talking to him this morning. I'm like, dude, are you in the storm's path? He's like, right in it, bro. Getting the house ready. I'm like, shit, dude. Good
Yeah,
luck.
yeah, and he was doing the same
Good
thing. He was
luck.
like getting the
Yeah,
house ready.
yeah,
and shit.
dude.
I was like, man, like, I
Be
don't know.
careful.
I know we got our fires here in California. That sucks too. Don't get me wrong, but I've
Yeah,
never
absolutely.
experienced that kind of hurricane before.
No, man.
so
That's
it's like
something else.
your grass
Yeah.
is greener when you have to go look at that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know,
I
Although-
I
and-
lived in the Dominican Republic for a couple of years. Back in my Mormon days, I was a missionary out there, and I was there during hurricane season, and a hurricane or two rolled through, but they never made landfall. They never actually hit the island, right? So, and that's usually the case for
Mhm.
the DR.
They get
Like
lucky. yeah.
they get sideswiped, and then it goes up to Florida. But lately, man, they've been getting hit. They've been
They
getting
just
hit.
got
dude.
that.
Yeah,
The new one just passed them.
yeah, man.
Luckily, Santiago is good.
It hit the east side of the
Yeah.
island, though. Yeah,
That the east side, and then so Puerto Plata and
Yep.
Samana get it the
Mhm,
worst because you know when it gets on landfall, it kind of
it
like it
weakens.
dies down. Yeah.
yeah.
So right before it hits the water, usually it's coming through the east, and it hits Samana right after the water.
Mhm.
So it's the hardest part. Sorry,
Yeah.
Samana.
Samana.
Yeah, you gotta
Say it right.
right.
Samana. Yeah.
And then when it's going back up to the north, it's about to hit the water again. So it starts picking up. But dude, then I've been there twice in the north
Yeah.
during a hurricane, and one of
I've
them
never
me
seen
and-
rain like that, dude.
Dude, yeah, it was insane,
Yeah.
bro. And me and
Yeah.
Coleman decided to ride it out outside
Mm.
not in the water, but on the beach. And
Dude.
I've never experienced some shit like that. I was wet as hell,
Yeah.
and it was fun, but it was a category 1. Dude.
Right.
So,
And see, and I was there for
yeah.
a category 1, and we all went outside and like took our soap and our shampoo, and you go see the neighbors, and everybody's out in the rain because you don't have running water where
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
living in La Vega, right? So everyone's out in the rain, like taking their quick shower. All the neighbors are out there in their bathing suits. Everybody's doing the same thing. I'll never forget stuff like that. I've never seen rain like that.
yeah.
that sounds
Crazy.
intense. Yeah.
I
So-
remember one of them. I was driving through Santiago. Like I rent my own car now for like the last few years, and I drive by myself to the factory and back wherever I need to go. And dude, you know the motorbike, the motorcycles, like
Malaconcho.
to their knees
Yeah, dude.
in water,
Yeah,
bro,
absolutely.
on the street.
Yeah, I
was
walked
like,
through
what
that.
the
Yeah,
hell?
dude. Yeah.
You're driving and you're just there's
Mhm.
people walking because they just left work.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if it's raining; they still need to get home, or
Yeah, got your
they have
tattoo.
they don't have money for transportation. So I'm driving, and the water is like literally just hitting these poor
Sheeting over
people,
'em,
that
yeah.
are walking, and I'm like
I'm
trying to
sorry,
go
yeah,
slow.
yeah.
I'm trying everything I can not to hit him with water, but and then I'm looking back, and every car is hitting him with water, so it was just a horrible situation.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
It was
Nothing you
sad.
can do about
Nothing
it.
you can
yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Nothing you
It
can
was
do.
just really sad.
So Florida, be safe, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously.
So Eduardo wants to know if you guys are gonna make a Philly trip anytime soon.
Not me, bro. Coleman usually handles
Coleman's out there,
PA, yeah. So you'd have to talk to him about his schedule, but he's always out in PA. I just don't know when he's getting out to Philly.
And I would love to come to Pennsylvania. So talk to your local retailers and give me a reason.
Nice.
I would
Nice.
love to come to PA.
I wanted to yell at Coleman because I saw him in Vegas. I didn't realize, it's for a bachelor party. Do your thing. Like,
Oh, you were there?
He was there, and we were
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I could
He's
have
there
been
this
there.
week.
Oh,
Yeah, he's there
yeah,
this
yeah.
week.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
all you have to do is tell us like 4 hours beforehand. We'll show up.
Well, it's like the time we went out to meet you in Arizona. On our way back, we stayed in Vegas. Been to Vegas, stayed the night. Went to meet you in Arizona. Came back, stayed in Vegas. Sure enough, Coleman's in Vegas.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just tell us? We could have hung out. Like, oh, my bad.
He was at a bachelor party. I didn't even want to bother him either.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
friends with the guy he's going for the bachelor party for, Dave. But I just had too much going on. I couldn't go, but I always get upset when he's in the West Coast, and I'm like, fuck, I can't make it. But I wouldn't feel too bad about this one. It was a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And I guess they got VIP at the Chainsmokers and shit concert.
Yeah.
It's on his Instagram. It was
All
pretty
right,
badass.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
They were doing it a show at Encore.
Poor Coleman.
I know, man.
Yeah.
It sucks to have his life.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Has to walk around being all pretty,
I know, dude.
getting VIP. What a bastard.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna air out his shit. I'm just gonna stay quiet.
He's seen The Office, right? Has he been in yet?
No,
Mother.
he still has not seen his own office.
His own office,
Yeah.
yeah, his own
We
home
got a dusty
headquarters.
ass chair waiting for him. A little.
At this
reserved
point,
for us.
I've been there more than
Yeah,
Coleman
yeah,
has.
he
I was
has.
there this morning. Yeah.
Everybody on this table has.
Yeah. So he was supposed to come out after PCA, but then our product wasn't gonna be in right after PCA. So then he was gonna come help for 2 days and then hit the road,
Yeah.
So then there was no point in him coming out because we're planning on hitting the road, but the product wasn't gonna be in time. I mean, it just hasn't worked out. He'll probably come down once it starts getting cold over there.
Smart.
Probably like next month or something. But yeah, he's gonna come out sometime this week, sometime in the next couple months, probably before the end of the year, and then we'll do some shops in Cali, and then he'll head back out.
It's a good plan. All right. Sooner or later, he's got.
He's
to.
got to
That's
come
the
out.
thing.
Yeah. We might even move the office before he gets out.
We need more room. You don't even get seated this time. The chair is just going to be a fold out for him. One of these. Yeah. Oh,
So,
man.
are either of you guys going to do the Boutique Cigar Festival in December?
talking about,
I think it actually got moved.
Talking about the Cigar Heritage Festival.
Cigar Heritage Festival.
Oh, okay. It's not on my radar, but we
I
can look into
haven't-
it. Yeah.
I haven't been approached.
Yeah.
And usually, like, for events like that, I don't know what the deals are. You know what I mean? Like what we have to do to be there.
For sure.
So depending on what it is, you know what I mean, and depending on how many people are going to attract and stuff. But
We
it
would
all
love to
depends, yeah.
participate. But
And like I haven't been approached by them yet to ask. Like same like with Rocky Mountain. Like I'm going to probably do it next year, but they haven't approached me. But I didn't know what you had to do, what was all entailed. So this year I looked into it, see what we had to do, and then next year we want to do it. You know what I mean? So
for sure.
yeah, we'll be there next year too.
it just depends. It all depends. Like I haven't done Cigars and Spirits because no one's ever reached out to me from Cigars and Spirits, the one they do in OLC every year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And another reason why I haven't done Cigars and Spirits is like for me, I don't want to sell to consumer, right? So they're like, you could set up your booth and just sell directly to consumer. You could give whatever deals you want and blah, blah, blah. But I have a lot of stores in Orange County, right? So like if I'm selling direct to consumer at that show, like I'm taking business away from my retailers in OC, and I'm not Fuente, right? So, and I'm not Padron. So it doesn't make sense for me to take that business away from my retailers. You know what I mean? So the whatever they're able to sell right now with my brand, I want them to continuously be able to sell my brand, not for me to take that business from them. You know what I mean?
Just to make some dollars.
It just doesn't make sense long term for me.
And it's cool to give FaceTime with consumers.
Yeah.
Like you can't take away from that. And consumers love it. As a consumer, I loved it. You know what I mean? So I get it. But
And-
like you said, we got to support brick and mortar.
And at Rocky Mountain, you're actually selling to their consumers,
right.
right?
Yes.
So it's not like you're stealing business from a shop in Colorado.
They're
You're selling to their people anyways,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're getting like the way it's set up. They make money and you make money, obviously, but at the end of the day, you're not stealing business from them or a shop in Colorado.
right.
So that's why that one makes a little bit more sense to me. And I went out and I got it. But the other one that you're mentioning, I have no idea what it entails or what it has to do with. So, and I haven't been approached. So,
For sure.
don't know.
For sure.
Up in there.
Yeah,
But there's nothing wrong with going to Florida. So
yeah.
I like
Not
going
right
to
now.
Florida.
Not right now.
Yeah, maybe not right this
not
second.
Not
this week.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
not
this
today.
week.
Don't go to Florida today.
Dude, but every time I fly through the airport, and like I usually land at like 5, 6, 7 in the morning. I go to there's a TGI Fridays in
In the airport.
Miami airport.
Uh-huh.
and you could smoke outside. So I always go out there and smoke, and like I would have to say 50 to 60% of the time it's freaking raining out there.
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I
Florida,
mean?
man.
Yeah, it's raining. Like
yeah.
you go out to that TGI Fridays, it's warm. The airport's warm. Everything's warm. It's not a cold day, but you get in there, it's wet because it's raining from the
Yeah.
outside. You know, so it's Florida. It's one of those places like you kind of want to like. It's like Dominican. I've been to the Dominican like twice where I wasn't able to go on the beach because it was raining every day.
Yeah.
I was like at the beach, staring at the water, but I didn't go in because it was like literally raining
Yeah.
every day. So
Oh, can we get the name for the online retailer again, real quick?
Oh,
For Eduardo?
Your best bet right now is tinderbox.com. Yeah. That's the way Tinderbox works is pretty cool. If any of the Tinderbox locations carry your brand, then you can find it on their website. We're carried by Tinderbox in Murray, Utah, and Tinderbox in Haverford, Pennsylvania. So it's on their website.
Very
Yeah.
nice. There you go, Eduardo. Hopefully I got it right in the comments. There we go.
Tinderbox.com. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
that's-
got .com, but it,
Oh my goodness. See,
the
that's-
idea is there.
That's the
It's-
thing.
dude,
People know. Yeah.
His name is Miguel Rodriguez, bro. English or Spanish was
Right.
his first language.
I just pointed at stuff like the first
A
5
little bit
years
of
of my
both,
life,
yeah,
6
yeah,
years.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, words are bad, all right?
Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, let you guys get back to what they have to do because I know you guys have a bit of a drive.
Yep. I'm still going.
What final words can you give people about Apostate Cigars to get them to give these cigars a try?
I would say just be open-minded, man. We're not doing anything too different. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're just bringing our take on Dominican tobacco and what can be done with it. Like I said earlier, we're blending for flavor, not strength. And we want to cater experiences. That's why we're so into the cigar community and the brick and mortar shops and the community around them. We want those moments, right? We want people to sit down, have a good time with their friends. And if they're doing that with one of our cigars in their hand, that's all we can ask for. So if you're looking to try something new that I can almost guarantee you will not disappoint, definitely reach for Apostate. You're looking at filler tobacco from Hochi Blanco that's aged 5 years before it's rolled. You're looking at a proprietary Candela wrapper on the feathered serpent that was grown just for this cigar. Everything we do is very deliberate. It's a labor of love. It's a labor of time. We formed the company in 2020. We just hit shelves at the end of 2021. We're going slow with it. We're trying to make sure it stays. So
That's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a way to answer that for him. Too.
Oh, all
My
right.
own way of answering that.
Lay it on me.
What did you guys think of the Candela?
Yeah, how'd you
That
like
guys
it?
were smoking.
I'm
Why
loving
don't
the hell
you
out of it right
give me
now.
a testimonial real quick? Yeah.
Have you? Okay, I'll put it this way, because I had the same experience. Have you had a Candela that gave you this kind of smoking experience? For me,
No.
it's a different Candela, dude. Like,
No.
and I like to say my Candela is different, and it is different. But again, I have never smoked a Candela like this where there is no grassy
flavor, yeah.
flavor, no earthy, constant. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Most of them are constant with earthy and grassy flavor overtones. You know what I
Right.
mean? And again, this has undertones, but nothing that you're gonna. It won't be an undertone where you could actually. It works with the blend. You
Yeah,
get what I'm
it's-
saying?
yeah.
It's not like an undertone where you just taste that. Like it all meshes together.
It's
So
about the whole
balanced.
picture. It's about the whole picture. It's not about coming up with a blend and then throwing a Candela wrapper on it. It's about blending the components to work with that wrapper. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, the dominant stuff was like a roasted nuttiness
Mm-hmm.
and cedar.
Mm-hmm.
And under that, I got a little bit of
Yeah.
And under that was the grassy hay notes.
It's on the finish,
Yeah.
and it's subtle, and it's complex, and the construction's awesome. A lot of candelas you have to relight constantly. You saw me relight twice? I mean,
Well,
you know,
to be fair, we've been talking the whole time.
Yeah.
So
It's been
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
I've had to relight too, but it's usually after I've spoken for 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I've gone on a little.
you're
rant,
long-winded.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the only thing that gets messed up during the show sometimes. Like you sit there and you're talking for a
Mhm.
good, maybe 5-10 minutes. All of a sudden, I'll have to realize it's not the cigar's fault.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no.
exactly. Yeah.
And I will say, yeah, like you said, a lot of other candelas out there have had everything else is muted. Everything
Sure.
else kind of gets really pushed down,
Yeah.
and you're just tasting this
Right.
real herbal tea notes and stuff. Which
Right.
is, if you like that, it's awesome.
No, it's great,
No
and
worries.
plenty of people look for that in a candela. We were just looking for something.
But I still see those guys that do like that flavor profile still
Totally.
enjoying this
Would.
cigar.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna love this cigar.
I-
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't, even if that's what you're into, again, having these undertones of it is not going to be, it's not going to break the cigar as a candela. I think you'll still like it because it's a totally different candela. Sorry. I was about to say fucking.
Say it all the time on the show.
I'm
I
trying
think
to
I was the
keep it
first
PG,
one.
Don't
to
say
go.
fucking. Don't say fucking.
We are not PG. We do our job. We do not cater to children. All right. I don't care what the industry says.
This isn't
There's
for
no,
them. Yeah.
There's
you
no
know,
catering.
Yeah.
You guys aren't making munchies?
No. there's no Cookie Monster on this one. All right, we're
Okay.
good. Which I still like that, but whatever.
Shots fired.
And I was still so annoyed by all that. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's another conversation.
Yeah, I know. I think for me, on my opinion on that is let the manufacturers do whatever they want.
Yeah.
TPE was the first scare. How TPE was I remember when TPE, a lot of manufacturers started going to TPE. The same people that were speaking about this advertising to children were saying that FDA is going to tie us into the black and milds and the cigarettes, and they're going to say, "How are you different?" And they're going to put us in, and that didn't happen. We just saw everything.
Well,
that
the thing
happened
is,
at
you can
FDA.
show how it's different. right?
Exactly.
So,
So, to me, the same people that were saying that were saying TPE was going to be the end all is all, and the FDA was going to ruin us because of TPE, and that didn't happen. So again, like at the end of the day, and some of those manufacturers that were out there saying that TPE was going to be the end all is now a 10 TPE. You know what I mean? So like at the end of the day, look in 5 years, the same guys that might be talking bad about, again, no one's trying to advertise to kids. I know everyone that's making these cigars, and not one of them is advertising the kids.
I've never met a manufacturer who's like, we're gonna
there's
get
like,
them. We're gonna get those kids.
We're gonna get those
Yeah,
16-year-olds,
yeah,
bro.
no.
You know what I mean? No,
Kids don't want cigars, man.
and we don't want to sell them to kids. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like I've never seen that. So if we're not trying to advertise, again, if none of the manufacturers are literally advertising to kids, which none of us are, if we put a cool name with a little bit of a twist in it, and it has something to do that has, you know what I mean? That again, leave it to the manufacturers to decide what they want to do with their product.
Right.
Let them bring it out.
Market your shit.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, absolutely.
And if that's the way you market your stuff, and you want to be a little bit more retro and cool,
Whatever.
and
Yeah.
so be it. Do your thing. And you see, we don't have anything on our stuff. I think the No Nintendo is the closest thing you could get to. But again, I made that because I played Nintendo growing up. You know what I mean? Like that has nothing to do with kids playing. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get those kids that are playing Nintendo now. And I don't even know if the logo is the same now. You know what I mean? That logo is maybe, again, I haven't touched
30
a
years
Nintendo.
old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe the logo is totally different now, but again, I didn't make that to advertise to kids. I made that because I'm 39 years old, and I remember playing Duck Hunt when I was a child. You know what I mean?
That hits us. So people are smoking cigars now.
Not too many kids these days have played Duck Hunt.
No,
Put it that way. They're not a lot of 18-year-olds
Yeah.
that would even have the patience to play Duck
My
Hunt
kids
now,
have no
you
idea.
know what I mean?
Yeah. My kids don't know what that is.
Would
Yeah,
they be able to play it now? Because it's so slow and redundant.
they'd
And
be
they
bored
would.
right
They'd be
away.
bored
Yeah.
level 1 and they
Instantly
turn it
bored.
off, right? Yeah.
My
Zelda.
8-year-old would
Yeah.
be bored.
how do you
Zelda,
hook
bro,
it to the
come on.
internet? How do you
Yeah.
Where's the DLC?
Yeah.
No.
Dude, remember Zelda? How slow it was?
Yeah. I still play Zelda.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
still play Zelda. Yeah.
So I have a Nintendo at home.
I
still,
have a
and
Nintendo at
I
home, dude.
Still fucks with it as much as I can, but like no kid will be attracted to that. But anyways, even the Cookie Monsters and the Munchies and stuff, let the manufacturers do what they want. It's not the end all is all. It's not going to burn down the industry. It's not going to die off tomorrow. The FDA is not going to come after us because of a Munchie or a Cookie Monster. I just don't see it. Same thing that happened in TPE 10 years ago. These guys were saying it's the end all is all. We're going to all lose out. The FDA is going to come control us. And look, we just had the FDA do their whole thing, and vapes were separate, cigarettes were separate, and cigars were separate. So I don't see a Cookie Monster making it all of a sudden be tied together. You know what I mean?
Right.
No, no way. And if you want to see the difference, just look at the TP floor. You see the way they advertise.
Yep.
These earth tones, these dark maroons, and all of a sudden it's bright neon colors.
Yeah.
And that works for
It's
them.
a different demographic altogether.
Yeah.
Really different.
Yeah.
And I get it. Yeah, the vape companies, I don't know. I don't think the boardroom was like, hey, how do we get these 16-year-olds on our vapes? But again, they're more retro, they're more cool, they're more colorful, the only colorful booth I've ever seen at PCA or TPE is the lighter company, Vector.
Yeah.
It was like all neon lights and blah, blah, blah. And again, like at the end of the day, how many 16-year-olds do you know that are going to spend $50 on a lighter?
Or like you saw the El Septimo booth at PCA.
Yeah, and who's going to spend $50
on
a
kid?
kid
Can't afford it in the first
Most
place.
15-year-olds are looking for a $2.2 million bottle of
Come on, $5 million lighter. Come on, get out of here. Yeah.
No, they're not just trying to ask some guy at the gas station to buy him a thing of beer or something.
Yeah,
no, it's totally they want that high-end product.
And let's be realistic. If it's the marijuana they're talking about, like to roll, who's gonna buy a $15-$20 cigar to roll that? You know what I mean? There's a lot of swishers on the market, and no one's gonna go buy a Cuba to roll a blunt. Like it's just not gonna happen.
Maybe,
what is it?
but
No, dude, like what
probably
is it?
not.
It's $12-$13.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know that many 16-year-olds that are gonna go and spend $12-$13.
I don't know that many
30-year-olds.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
exactly. Exactly. I don't know any 30-year-olds that are smoking that are gonna go buy a Cuba to go do that
roll
either.
a blunt.
You know? Yeah.
Totally separate.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's totally separate. And I found a cure for all this, bro. The way to fix all this underage smoking, I found a way to fix it. Right.
Here we go.
The only issue is they'll never do this, but let the cigar shops sell cigarettes and the swishers and whatever, right? Because I don't know any cigar shop, and I go in a lot of cigar shops, that is okay with selling to a minor.
No.
Every cigar shop I go to, whenever they see a kid or somebody who looks young, the first thing they ask for is ID
right away.
As opposed to a liquor store or a 7-Eleven where you already have a 16-year-old at the cash register.
Yeah, because they're buying Mountain Dew.
And or even working there. The kid working there is probably 16, 17, and he's selling to his friends. Right. Or, they get a pretty girl that walks in and she's 18 and she wants to buy liquor and they're like, oh, I love you. Here's any liquor you want. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to happen at a cigar shop. So if you want to control it, don't let the gas stations and liquor stores sell it. Put them in the hands of the tobacconists will make money. 7-Eleven's not going to die from losing the cigarette sales. You know what I mean? 7-Elevens will still be there. Gas stations will still be there. But give it to people that are going to make sure every kid is carded.
Now you got to convince cigar shops to actually sell cigarettes, though. That's a hard ask.
But I feel like if it's not in if it's not in competition with gas stations, right? And you're the one selling the volume, I see cigar stores bringing them in. But at the end of the day, when I had my cigar lounge, for me it was a point of like, oh, I'm making a quarter off this thing.
Right, exactly.
Who
There's
cares
no margin.
About it? 20,
well, I have a whole shelf of this stuff.
Forget a whole shelf, bro. It's like literally, you know what I mean? Why am I gonna carry a whole wall of something to make a quarter off? So now, if the cigarettes they're not being sold at gas stations or liquor stores, and you're selling 100, 200 packs a day, it makes more sense to have a whole wall dedicated to that. You get what I'm saying? And I just think that's the only way they're really going to fix this underage smoking, or to get it into more of a control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually put some kind of control. Not just say it's bad for you. Don't do it.
Yeah, the fear campaigns. Yeah.
But I digress on that part. I think I let us totally off topic on that.
Right.
Apologize.
Yeah, I know we're wrapping up. My bad.
No, that was on me on that one, guys. Y'all have a good one out there. We'll let you guys get over to what's the next stop? Sacramento, you said?
Yeah, we're going to Sac
right
now.
We're going to end in Sac, but we're going to stop in Merced, Lodi. So give a little shout out to my stores, Cigar Monkey in Merced, Stogie Lounge in Lodi, and then we'll be in Sacramento at Tobacco Road, Tobacco Republic, Cigar Club, Sac. We'll end up in Cigar Club Modesto for our event, and then we'll be at Morgan Hill for a quick little bit on Friday morning. He takes off to San Jose to go to the airport, and then I go home.
It's a good time.
gonna be a good
Oh,
week.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be a good week.
It's gonna be fun.
All right,
So
people.
thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I'm glad you
yeah,
guys could come over here.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
this
good.
is fun, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, people. We'll let you go for now. We'll see you tomorrow, 2:00. What do we have for that? We needed to what do we need to do tomorrow during the show?
Best ass pictures.
Best Ash pictures. Yeah. So if you haven't got those on, go to the Facebook group Cigars, Whiskey, and Beautiful Women. You can still post them until the show, then you're done. Then you
Let's
don't
see
have a
that
chance
ash.
to win. The
Let's see
5-year
that ash.
anniversary show is this Friday. There's, I think, at least 10 boxes we're giving away on that show.
Hell yeah.
So you gotta watch. You gotta
Hell
watch.
yeah.
So you have a chance to win. If
Awesome.
you want to sign up for the Facebook supporter, the Patreon, whatever it is, you have more chances to win that way. The birthday giveaways, we're doing 2 of them this time.
How about for your birthday giveaways? I throw in a bundle of Apostate for you guys. How's that?
They're gonna love it.
We'll
Boom.
do that.
Let's
Oh,
do
yeah.
it. Yeah.
There we go. You just saw it grow right now in front of your very eyes.
Boom.
Come on. All right, people. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. So have a good one. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.